Good morning everyone, here's our latest and brief video update on Typhoon Haiyan. The powerful and dangerous cyclone continues to rapidly intensify as it moves across the western Pacific Ocean. It is now nearing the islands of Yap and Palau. It was last located approximately 330 kilometers southeast of the island of Yap, or about 610 kilometers east of the Republic of Palau. According to Joint Typhoon Warning Center, the maximum sustained winds have increased to 195 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 240, making Haiyan a Category 3 typhoon on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Now, the Japan Meteorological Agency has slightly lower wind estimates based on their latest warning. Now, the system is moving west-northwestward at 30 kilometers per hour. So, right now it's still about 1,500 kilometers east of the Philippines, but at its speed it's going right now, at the rate it's moving, it will eventually make landfall somewhere in Visayas in less than 2 days. So eventually it will impact the country, and local governments are starting to take action and warn the residents of the impending typhoon. Now, as you can see in the animated infrared image, again you can see that pinhole eye now forming, surrounded by powerful and deep convective activity, very cold cloud tops, very symmetrical central dense overcast, and that good radial outflow as well, helping the system to really intensify over the past 24 hours. Some outer bands are now beginning to push into the island of Yap and will probably move into Palau as well later this afternoon. In fact, we have typhoon warnings issued by the National Weather Service out in the islands in this region. Tropical storm warnings also in effect for parts of Palau, again due to the strong winds, the heavy rains, and also that high waves being churned out by the huge circulation of this typhoon. As such, we expect stormy conditions to begin later this morning and will last through the night. Again, this is moving quite fast, so probably by tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, we should start to see improving weather conditions out in the region. Now, the next, obviously, the next main areas to be impacted would be the eastern Philippines. Looking at the latest weather forecast from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, you can see the agency tracking Haiyan on a west-northwestward track towards the islands here in Visayas, probably making landfall out here in the island of Samar, say by early Friday morning. Now you can also see here Joint Typhoon Warning Center expecting Haiyan to intensify into a Category 5 super typhoon before it plows into Visayas. So a very dangerous and powerful cyclone moving into the country. It will probably be named, be given a local name by tonight by Pag-asa. The next name on the list is Yolanda. Now again, not only are we talking about strong winds here, but also the threat for heavy rains, not only across Samar, Leyte, but also surrounding islands, and even stretching south into northern Mindanao. Southern Luzon will also be impacted greatly by this typhoon in the coming days. This map right here is the 5-day forecast from Japan Meteorological Agency, and it shows pretty much similar track with Joint Typhoon Warning Center. Pretty good track consensus among models and agencies, again tracking between Yap and Palau today, perhaps making landfall tomorrow, Friday morning out here in eastern Visayas, perhaps in Samar. You can see tracking across the islands here in northern Leyte, perhaps Masbate, the islands of Romblon, moving into Mindoro. And take note also that since this is a pretty powerful storm and moving pretty quickly, we're not expecting significant weakening even though it crosses many islands out here in Visayas. So southern Luzon, parts of Palawan, Cebu, Negros, and the earthquake impacted island of Bohol, definitely keep a close eye out on this storm as it begins to impact the area by tomorrow. Expect conditions to last through Friday, and then eventually slight improvement in the weather by Friday afternoon and into Saturday as the system now moves into the east into the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea. Finally, here is a rainfall forecast from one of the computer models that we use. And you can see here a swath of heavy rainfall moving from Western Pacific Ocean into parts of the Philippines. Those green coloring mean up to 500 millimeters of rainfall. So very heavy rainfall expected over the next 2 to 3 days. Again, the islands of Samar, Samar, Leyte, parts of Cebu, Negros, and Panay. Obviously, lots of islands out here in the Visayas will be impacted. And again, as I said, even parts of southern Luzon, Metro Manila, northern Mindanao, and Bohol, even into Palawan, you could see some heavy rains over the next 2 to 3 days out here. So while the system is now moving across the Western Pacific, moving near Palau and Yap, we do urge everyone living in the Philippines, especially in central areas out there, especially in Visayas, definitely heed the warnings of your local officials. I know they are starting to prepare evacuation areas, and the manpower are starting to be formed out there for a possible forced evacuation. So again, if you are living in those environments and prone areas, please do heed the warnings there. And as always, we'll continue to keep updated on our blog and also on our Facebook page. We all have those links down at the bottom in our YouTube video description. But this is all our update for today. Thanks for watching. We'll have another update probably by tomorrow, so stay safe, guys. See you then.